Big tech wants more geothermal, and they want it now. We're talking power for data centers from Silicon Valley to East Africa.
Plus, drilling kicks off in Tenerife. That's a great milestone for the Canary Islands and for island grids in general.
For sure. And in addition to that, Bill Gates is getting his boots dirty. Sort of. He visited Fervo's drilling site in Nevada.
And what does that mean for the future of next-gen geothermal? Let's dive into it.
Welcome back to What's Heating Up, our GeoTV segment where we highlight the latest trends, news and stories within the geothermal world. I'm Gabriella Skog.
And I'm Boel Stier.
And helping us out with the news today is the man behind the headlines.
Carlo Cariaga, editor-in-chief of ThinkGeoEnergy, the go-to place for everything, or anything, geothermal.
Thank you, Boel and Gabriella. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you for joining us, Carlo. And let's jump right in. We're hearing that the Canary Islands, or more specifically Tenerife, is drilling their first geothermal well. We're very excited to hear more about this.
Yeah, so the drilling of a geothermal exploration well in Tenerife is planned later this year. They're going to drill it in the southern part of the island at a target depth of 2,500 to 3,000 meters. So this is going to be done by this joint venture called Energía Geotérmica de Canarias. It's a joint venture of Reykjavik Geothermal, a local energy company, and as well as public companies representing the government. So this is still exploratory, and the point is to validate or characterize any potential geothermal resource in the region. But as you said, this is said as the first geothermal well in Tenerife. It's the first well that is meant for production. But in the early 90s, there was a slim hole well drilled here in Tenerife. It was drilled around 1,000 meters. They had something like 50 degrees. So it wasn't a stellar outcome, so which I guess contributed to how little was done in the next decades. But now with this well is going to be meant for production, so this is likely going to be a regular sized borehole, targeting much deeper horizons, hopefully targeting temperatures fit for power generation.
Interesting, and that first well that was, left behind has probably contributed to the project getting started today, right?
Well, definitely, any previous work provides valuable information, especially if it's a drilled well. Even if it's just a slim hole, it provides a lot of information on the geology of the area.
And Tenerife isn't alone. Also, the island of Dominica is expecting its first geothermal power plant sometime late this year or early 2026, right, Carlo?
Yeah, I mean, the power plant in Dominica is being built right now. It's also going to be an ORC power plant, much like the one planned for Tenerife. And a lot of these regions stand to benefit from geothermal. These are small islands. All of them have challenges when it comes to electricity generation because they have to rely on imports of diesel or other forms of fossil fuels. And so this provides energy independence. This provides them more affordable electricity. And so there's a lot of upside to generating geothermal in these small islands.
For sure. I was just going to say that when you think about islands, you usually think about these diesel generators. So the potential for geothermal to be developed there is really exciting, I think. And now switching gears from island powers to server farms.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that geothermal is having a moment with the data center crowd. Don't you agree?
Yes, we have seen a wave of announcements recently. We have Meta partnering up with Sage Geosystems and XGS in the US. We have Microsoft and G42 in Kenya, and also our own employer, Baseload Capital, partnering with Google to develop power plants in Taiwan. What do you see as the reason behind this big wave of interest with the big tech partnering up with geothermal, Carlo?
I believe that geothermal and data centers, they are quite mutually beneficial to each other. So data centers need stable, they need always on power. It has to be affordable. And it also benefits if the power is locally available and also clean. It's emissions free. So it helps with the image, it helps with the company branding, the sustainability efforts. And of course, all of these things are things that geothermal can provide. And on the side of the geothermal industry, it helps provide more capital for power plant growth for these large infrastructures. And so it helps both sides. And I think that there's definitely a lot of potential there. There's also been a lot of reports written in the past few months about how geothermal can provide, it can help fuel this whole AI revolution, increasing data centers.
So it might be so that geothermal energy is the secret weapon behind the AI revolution.
I really think so, at least. And speaking of high-profile names, we also learned that Bill Gates was spotted at the Fervo's drilling site a couple of weeks ago, I think. What's the story behind that, Carlo?
Okay, so Bill Gates published this. It was a note on LinkedIn, and there was also this video that came with it. And it didn't really say a lot of new things in the video. Like, it was just a fun little recap of what happened. But it's interesting to know that Bill Gates, of course, through Breakthrough Energy Ventures, has invested in Fervo. So it's more of a business visit for him, really. But the full Cape Station site is targeting 400 megawatts, and the company is permitted for up to 2 gigawatts of capacity. So they're obviously very optimistic about their technology, about how they're approaching things, and they've done a lot of really good things when it comes to horizontal drilling, when it comes to reservoir stimulation, and also when it comes to reducing drilling costs by just drilling a lot of wells. Fervo Energy has also reported that their production wells have increased in capacity from initial 3 megawatts to now around 10 megawatts per well, which is really way above average for geothermal wells. And so there's a lot of optimism going on about this project, and we're really looking forward to seeing their first power plant online by next year.
For sure. And finally, Carlo, at ThinkGeoEnergy, you've crossed an important milestone as well. You reached over 40,000 followers on LinkedIn recently.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you for noticing that as well. We've done some really good work, I think, on building up our LinkedIn presence. And now the challenge is how to reach outside of the geothermal bubble. Like, we all talk with each other internally about how great geothermal is, but how do we get out of that immediate community and reach out to, say, the more mainstream audience?
I think that sounds like a great strategy, and I think it's also amazing evidence that not only are you doing a great work, but people are starting to care a lot more about geothermal, and it's gaining more and more interest.
Well, thank you. I think that's also been quite noticeable. That's what a lot of people in geothermal would say. And now you have interest from investors, you have interest from policymakers, and now maybe it'd be nice if you got say interest from, say, content creators, celebrities. That would be really nice if we got to that point.
I think we'll get there very soon.
And that's a wrap on this episode of What's Heating Up. Thanks as always for tuning in.
We'll be back next month with new stories, headlines, and interesting topics from the world of geothermal. Please remember to subscribe not to miss out on the next episode.
And remember, until we meet again, stay curious, stay energized,
and stay hot.